Ciao a tutti dal vostro Chupacabra. Oggi un'intervista con un altro ospite davvero speciale, Sidney Silva, con il suo tour europeo. Farò le domande in inglese, poi come al solito sotto forse c'è traduzione. Hello Sidney, can you tell us about something about yourself and for the people that doesn't know you?
My name is Sidney Silva. I'm a jiu-jitsu and judo black belt and also a professional MMA fighter.
And you have been here for the European tour of all your academies. You have 5 academies here in Europe. And how do you see the European scene growing up? Is still not as good as America or Brazil, I guess, but it's getting better?
Yeah, every year I can tell, the people improving because there's no secret. If you train, you get better. So if people train a lot here, then eventually they're going to get better and, be pretty close to the Brazil and then America, in the future.
Okay. We have just done your stage, and your jiu-jitsu is, I would say, not really old school, but is really real. It's not like with all this flashy stuff like a bearing ball or this spectacular stuff, but it's something that is much more MMA oriented. Do you see yourself in this definition that I just gave?
Kind of. Batting ball is also a good position,
Okay.
It's more advanced, and but you need to know the basics really good. You need to be really good in a lot of stuff before you try to learn the batting ball. It's a really advanced phase. And here we have white belts, blue belts. Doesn't make any sense. They learn batting bolo if they don't know, how to get there.
Okay. And speaking about the MMA scene, how do you see the old school jiu-jitsu? Now all the fighters are still complete. They do a lot of wrestling, they do a lot of Muay Thai, they do a lot of boxing. Is still jiu-jitsu, just pure jiu-jitsu, good for personal defense or wall kind of system, or you think now is a bit more incomplete, just for the normal man, not for the fighter or the athletes?
Well, there's not many people know what the real jiu-jitsu is, Jiu-jitsu was created and developed by Hélio Gracie and Carlos Gracie and the family for a street fight. Back in the days, there wasn't no tournaments. People trained for the self-defense. After years and years and years pass, now everything's changed. They want to train more the sport jiu-jitsu. A lot of gyms, they don't even teach the self-defense anymore. So if you don't learn the self-defense, if you just learn the sport jiu-jitsu, sometimes it's going to be not enough knowledge to defend yourself for a street fight, for example, or for MMA. You need to know the traditional jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying they're doing wrong. The gyms, they don't teach the self-defense. They're not doing wrong, but they're missing something, They're not doing, what exactly Hélio Gracie developed, which is for the real situation. So sometimes the MMA fighters, they don't know what to do in some situations because they don't train that side of the jiu-jitsu.
Do you think that jiu-jitsu is in UFC, for example, is still very important, or it's losing its power in front of striking or wrestling?
No, jiu-jitsu was and always going to be important in UFC or any kind of self-defense, especially if it's one by one. If you have 2, 3 against one, then it's different. But one by one, jiu-jitsu always going to be the best way to defend yourself, because most of the time you're going to have a clinch, the fight goes to the ground. And jiu-jitsu is the only martial arts you can defend yourself from your back. When you're back, you have a lot of weapons to defeat your opponent. Different than the other martial arts.
And we speak a lot about old school and real situation. Let's speak about the UFC, and you train Wanderlei Silva, and how does Wanderlei Silva feel the beef with Charles Sonnen? They are growing up a lot, the hype. We know there is almost like a fight in Expo like a couple of weeks ago. Is he really feel that so much, or is just more like for defending the pride of Brazilian? How do you feel as a Brazilian, all the stuff that Charles Sonnen says?
First, I don't train Wanderlei anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, for a while. I have my own gym in Vegas.
Okay.
You know, I still visiting. My son trained wrestling there,
Okay.
but we don't train together as much anymore.
Okay.
Second, Wanderlei, he loves Brazil,
Okay.
and pretty much every Brazilian guy have a lot of pride to be Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
And then when somebody try to put your home country down,
Yeah.
you know, saying a lot of bad things,
Okay.
it's really like, you know, you mess with our pride.
Okay.
So I believe Wanderlei is really, really mad
Okay.
and really upset,
Okay.
you know, with the Sony keep saying, you know, before with the Anderson's fight,
Yeah.
now against him.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he tried to promote the fight, but in my point of view, he tried to do it the wrong way. You know, you can sell a fight, but you don't have to be disrespectful.
Yeah, a lot of people agree that sometimes Charles Sonnen go above the border.
Yeah.
And speaking about people that often go above the border, it's very recent the leg lock that Toquinho kept on Pike just on the last UFC, and now he has been banned from UFC. In Italy, there was like two factions. Some people say it's okay that Dana White released him, and some people say they don't agree because it was released just as soon as the referee tapped. In your opinion, what's your opinion about this situation?
Toquinho, it's a very nice person, very religious person. I don't believe at all that he tried to hurt the other guy on purpose. He tried to be mean and hurt the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it.
Okay,
This is one thing.
okay,
Sometimes he hold a little bit longer
okay,
because he lost a couple fights before
Yeah.
because he let it go
yeah,
and the referee never gave him the
Yeah.
fight. Also, he's a very emotional guy.
mm-hmm.
So when he goes for something, he put a lot of power. He's very strong.
Okay,
Heel hook is a type of submission that you don't have much time
Yeah.
to tap before you feel the pain on your
Yeah.
knee. There's no stretching much. It's a little bit and then pops. It's
Okay.
different like a armbar or a straight
Okay.
foot lock. So I don't think he hold that long.
yeah,
I think he hold, the guy tap once on him, maybe twice, and then tap on the referee's back. The referee came, he let it go,
yeah,
but because, you know, we have a history
okay,
in doing that before,
yeah,
and a lot of people complaining,
mm-hmm.
it's a lot of pressure for the UFC to do something about
Okay.
it. You know, maybe if nobody complained, there's not much pressure, then White, you know, he let it go, he's not even, you know, giving much attention about
Okay.
it. But because there's a lot of pressure from everybody, everybody talking about
Also in Brazil?
yeah, everywhere.
Okay,
And he don't want the UFC looks bad,
okay,
he needs to do something.
okay,
Expel him for the show. I think it was too much. You know, he can, you know, could give him a suspension,
yeah,
but not, you know, cutting him,
yeah,
you know,
Okay.
you know, forever from the UFC. I hope he, you know, he changed his mind and he's back because, you know, he was a real nice guy, and then he, you know, was really, really, really poor when he started.
yeah,
He fighting for survival. It's different than if, you know, a lot of people have, a lot of fighters have a lot of money already,
yeah.
and they just wanna the lifestyle. He's fighting for survival, you know, to help his family.
Okay. Thank you very much, Silva. The interview was very good. We touched different subjects, so I'm sure all the people will like it. Just the last question. For the people that wants to look for a gym, in Milano we have Atletica Box by Garcia, and what should if people are not from Milano and they have to train, what they should look in a teacher before choosing an academy?
To choose it's very important to choose a good teacher.
Yeah.
Usually, the teacher is good because his teacher was good,
Okay.
and the teacher before his teacher was
Okay.
good. So it's very important you pay attention to the lineage,
Okay.
who the guys came from, who he came from the beginning until him,
Okay.
how long he been training, his attitude outside the
Okay.
the gym is also very important.
Thank you very much. I'm sure everybody will enjoy this little tip. Thank you, Sidney,
Welcome.
and thank you also for the stage.